Well, hey y'all, I know I've been gone for a while. So just been a few things going on, and I wanted to come to y'all with a story time. A little tired, but just wanted to come to y'all with a story time on what's going on with me. So I did take like a mini vacation that I felt like I needed. If you have been following me, my prison bae had got out, and I was so happy about that. And I went out of town for like maybe 2 days. I say about two. I went out of town for like 3 days, and then came back and had to recuperate and get back to you know get back to working and school and everything. So that I'm supposed to be doing. So this story is gonna be about um, literally how my prison bae, I guess you could say, stood me up, and it was kind of like jail talk at the same time that I just believed everything, and then when the person got out, totally different. So I'm gonna tell y'all about that. So basically just tell y'all like how I met him and how we got to the point of the story that I'm about to tell y'all now. So I might just split this up into two videos. I might not have to, but I'm gonna just tell y'all how we met. I did meet him while he was incarcerated. He has been incarcerated for a total of 10 years, and I have been knowing him for the last three. He he was doing 10 in state prison. He How we met was I was scrolling through Facebook. Somehow he was using Facebook, and he made a post, and I'm pretty sure it was other girls with me. I reply, I wanted to talk to him. I just looked at him like, oh, he was just, he's fine. He's a little bit younger than me, but that didn't really bother me none. And then probably that was just like a week later, he started to text me, and I texted him as well. It was like, I don't know. It was cool. We was talking, like, we was talking, starting to talk, on a regular basis. First it started out like texting or whatever. And then he just let me know like he was down, and all of that, and if we wanted to like start trying to be friends. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. So sorry y'all, I had to write down a couple things. So anyways, vice versa, y'all, we developed a friendship, and it went all the way into like it was just a friendship, and another attraction. It was a friendship. We started talking, and then as we went along, we started doing video calls, and like video calls is much cheaper. Like where he was, I think a video call was like $4, and he started to pay for them. Somehow he was just paying for them, and so that was a good thing. He never would ask me for anything, so that was another good thing. And like we were just vibing and vibing and vibing. So make a long story, so moving along, it was time had went so fast from us like talking and talking. Like video calls was the best way. He was telling me because he was like far, far, far from me, and he did not want me to travel by myself, and I really didn't have anybody to travel with. So the video calls really got us, talking to each other, and we got to see each other. It wasn't physical yet, but we got to see each other over and over. So, every week it was a video call. So, that was good. So, maybe like a couple times a week sometimes. And that was easier and cheaper. For me, sometimes I would, $4, $8, that was cheaper. But other than that, he didn't like ask me for nothing. And that was a big turn on for me. Like, it was just conversation. Like, we just became friends, we became cool. We was always laughing at each other. I think we went without talking about a month. It was a month. I think because he had to move or got in trouble, something like that. So I don't remember exactly what it was, but I knew it was like about a month that we did not talk. And then he reached back out to me. And then we just started talking again. So, and then we just started to catch up. And then, so fast forward, this went into, we were talking, everything was going good. I think we probably had I wouldn't say got into it. I would just say it was like disagreements. Like anybody else, it would just be like disagreements. And, sorry, y'all. He was getting, to know me and stuff. So, what else went past? Oh, but he always seemed to make a way, like, my birthday, he'll reach out. No matter if he was in trouble, couldn't use the phone, like, he always made a way. And so I really appreciated that. We didn't want to get too serious with each other, but we were just like, I felt like we were building and getting to know each other. Just everything, I was just believing that everything was just going good. I was like, oh, this person ain't no way they can hurt me. This is not the type of person he is. He was talking about he'll never do this, he'll never do that, never hurt me, none of that. So, anyways, I'm believing that. And, we just talk about plans and stuff we got, like, when he gets out. So, sorry, y'all. So, anyways, so I'm going to get to the story. So, as we're talking, like, within the last, year, this year, I found out, well, he lets me know, I didn't really, that's how I found out, but he lets me know that, he's getting out early. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Like, so it was like, kind of like time for me to prepare to, for him to get out. Cause I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe my bae is getting out early. And then when I looked, and then like he told me the release date, and then when I told him, like, I was like, oh my goodness. So anyway, so I found out he was getting, and then we was like making plans and stuff. And so y'all, yeah, we was making plans. And during this time, it's like I had something to keep me occupied. Not only was I working, and I had decided to start school. So I was trying to find a way. I was like, well, how am I going to be able to, because I knew when he was getting out. So I was making all types of plans and stuff, and like getting outfits together. Like, I was just so excited. But this is someone I never met, so I was really, really nervous. So the first time, so I found out the date that he was supposed to leave. So during that time, like, before then, let me back it up a little bit. So before then, I had planned on, it was like me and my best friend. She was going to go with me to meet him. So come to find out, he ended up not getting that release date. They added like 2 more weeks onto it. So I'm like, oh my goodness. So, cause he had got in trouble, like before that, but we didn't think that was gonna catch up with him by the time he got out, but it did. So it was a whole bunch of stuff with that, so had to cancel it. So now my best friend cannot go with me. So I'm like, oh my goodness, like I was just even, it made me even more nervous now because I literally gonna be by myself to meet this man. So I kept going back and forth on it, and y'all, if y'all don't know yet, he's already out. It's December. So he had got out December the 2nd. So my best friend could not go with me. So I stayed till to get back to the story. So I stayed till December the 3rd. I stayed here. I made preparations for me to go on out there where he was, because he's gonna be living 5 hours from me. So when I decided to travel this, I decided to, like, okay, I was getting together, I got the car, whatever. He did help with the car. He was just telling me how he was getting off the plane, and he helped me, and then when he got home, like, he helped me or whatever with the car, and then I told him to, like, check in with me, make sure he gets there, and so he told me at the time that his phone was going dead. So I said, well, okay, so when you get home, make sure you plug it up and you call me and let me know you made it safe, right? So, yeah. So anyways, this is when everything starts. So y'all, yeah, so when this starts, I gets down there. It takes me about 5 hours, 6 hours to get down there. So I get down there the whole time. Like, I only made one stop, y'all, to fill up, and that's it. And then after that, I, you know, I got my, I got my goodies and all that, and I just kept going. I was so excited. So, anyways, I get to the place, and I check in the hotel, all of that. So then y'all decided to, I'm like, man, I'm so tired. So when I got there, like, I wind down, I took a shower, I had got me something to eat, and then after that, I just wind down. And then, like, I'm calling and calling him, and he's not answering at all. So, y'all, I'm like, oh my goodness, what have I done? And then, so I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna chill. Like, because he had told me also, y'all, that his uncle was gonna have a party for him, which I wasn't invited. I never knew where this uncle lived, none of that. I never knew nothing about him. So anyways, y'all. So moving right along. So the whole night, and I'm just like, well, he just did not answer the whole day. So he knew I was coming, y'all. Like, we had been going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So he knew I was coming. But anyways, moving right along. So, hold on, y'all. I'm gonna give me a sip of water. So y'all, moving right along, he knew I was coming, but why he would do that, and just why he would do that, I don't know. So anyways, yeah. So we yeah, I gotta get back to the story. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. Anyways, y'all. So so I went ahead and got some rest. I talked to a couple of my, friends or whatever. And my friends was like really nervous for me. And Oh goodness. So they were so nervous for me, and then like I was nervous too, but I'm like, trying to like block it all out. Like everything gonna be okay. Like he did say he partied last night, just making excuses, right? So I'm like, I was already mad, and it's like he's making excuses. So I'm like, I'm gonna wait till the next day. So I waited till the next day, and then that morning I heard from him, but he had so many excuses why. But he knew I was coming. So, anyways, so make a long story short, y'all. So he like begged me to stay where I will. He begged me to stay there for another day. So I'm like, okay, yeah, we gonna fix it and everything's gonna be cool. So y'all, the day goes by, like the day's going or whatever. I decided to get out the room and go, run some errands on what I plan to do. So anyways, so y'all, so I gets back and just taking time or whatever, and I realize he still ain't called. It's like it's going on like in the afternoon. This man still ain't called. So I'm like, okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I said, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and just, try to like take a shower, wind down, you know, get together what I was getting together in the room and all of that. So y'all, come to find out, this man did not call me till 6 o'clock again in the afternoon. I made him find a way to me because I was not going to get him after that. After what he did, I was not going to get him. So anyway, so he finds a way to me, y'all. He finally calls. It's like 6 o'clock in the afternoon. So he finally comes. It's like 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And then, so he couldn't find my hotel, so I had to pick him up. So the hotel was like across the street from like, it was like across the street from the hotel, but he couldn't see because it was like in the cut somewhere. Anyways, so somehow he got dropped off on the corner, and then he couldn't find where he was. So I picked him up, and then like we really meet each other. Our first time meeting each other. So I pulls up to this restaurant that was across, like kind of across the street, and so he had him something to eat and stuff like that. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm not tripping. I'm not hungry anyway. So like we hug and stuff like that. So I picks him up, y'all, and then we had to go to the store. So I'm like, okay, so him being on the phone, on his cell phone. So I'm like, okay, I ain't tripping. So I literally gets on the phone with one of my friends, and I'm like, guess who's home, whoop, and all of that. And they was like, oh shoot, he's on, like, because one of his friends was talking to one of my friends. So she tried to speak to him and stuff, but he on the phone with somebody else, one of his homeboys. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm like, eventually he'll get off the phone, just so me and him can start talking, right? Something like, this is our first time seeing each other. Like, I drove all the way down here. Like, you got to give me something. So, anyways, y'all. So, yeah, so he comes out the store, whatever. He gets what he got to get or whatever. So, he's still on the phone. So, I'm like, okay. So then, as we go into the hotel, which wasn't far, he was like, well, he finally gets off the phone. So I'm like, okay. So I told him I had gave him a coat because he needed a coat. So I had gave him a coat, whatever, and a coat, yeah, a coat that I had gave him a coat to stay warm because I'm like, that little bitty coat that you got is not gonna work. It's too daggone cold out here. So, anyways, y'all. So I'm ready to I goes ahead and like, we gets out the the car or whatever, and I got the room decorated. So I'm trying to I get so nervous, y'all. I somehow somehow I didn't got the somehow I had the old I got my keys mixed up. Anyways, to get into the room, so I had to go down there because the night before, y'all, I lost I left the old key in the room. It was a mistake on my part with the keys. So I had to run down there. I had to I had to get another key because I think I locked the keys in the room. Anyways, so excuse me. So I end up going in the room, and then I surprise him, and it's all decorated and everything. Like, I'm like, wow, wow, he's gonna be amazed. And, I got gifts all over the. We had those rooms where it has a living room and a kitchen, and then we had like double doors where you open up the door, and I had the bags and stuff on the all on the bed. Yeah, the bed. So anyway, so yeah, so like we sat in the living room, and I mean at the kitchen table, and we ate a little bit. Well, we went downstairs first, and then I got something, to snack on because they was cooking it that day, and downstairs, and like everybody can, get something. So I went downstairs, and y'all, I went downstairs, and I got a few things, and he was sitting there, and he was just on his phone again. So I'm like, oh my goodness. So, all right. So anyways, I decided I'm like, let me go upstairs, and he was like, oh, thanks. He's just acting all weird. So I'm like, okay, I'm not really, tripping. And I'm like, hey, do you need anything? So we sat down and we ate. He ate his food. I ate and then he, of course, he wanted to go outside and smoke his black. So I'm like, okay, that's fine, but you can't smoke it in here. So he kind of got like irritated about that. And I'm like, no hotel you can do, that's just how it goes now in the world. So anyway, so I'm just trying to make him as comfortable as I could. So he wanted to go outside, but he didn't want to go outside by himself. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. So anyways, he goes outside, and then when he goes outside, like I goes outside with him, but I made sure he had that coat on because it was cold, and then I had my coat on because it was cold, and it was just, the wind was blowing and everything. So y'all, we goes in, he smoked or whatever, we goes in back in the room, and we so I kind of like, we were just sitting there talking, vabbing, everything's okay. So y'all, I'm thinking this man is about to stay with me the whole night. And this is where it gets messed up. So y'all, we laid in the bed. He laid across, diagonal or whatever, and we just sitting there talking. So everything's going good with us talking. I was like, hey, you want to watch a movie? He was like, no, I'm good. And so he gets a phone call. So I'm like, okay, he gets a phone call. All right, here we go. So I'm not getting. So I'm kind of like wanting his undivided attention, but I'm not. I can feel that I'm not getting it. So he just want to be quiet. So as we're talking, y'all, I just decide to kind of like just chill and not talk so much, because I'm feeling like, okay, maybe he just want to chill. He tired, he don't feel like, really like talking or whatever. He just want to relax. So I'm cool. So he hears the people next door, and he was straight. At least I thought he was, and it's straight, and he just jumps up, pops up, and I'm like, oh shoot. Like, I was like, babe, just calm down. Like, he was like, what was that? And I'm like, it's just the people, next door, It was like, we have somebody like next door to us. And he's like, oh. And then he just looks around and looks around. So I guess he was just paranoid. And I guess I'm understanding that. So anyway, so I'm like, I said again, I was like, hey babe, do you want to watch a movie? He was like, no, I'm good. And then so soon as I thought that he was relaxing, and I was too, he popped up like 10 more minutes. He popped up again. And I'm like, you all right? And he's like, I was like, you need anything? You okay? And then it's like, I'm thinking that we're just chilling and we're going to be doing this for the rest of the night. No, this man was ready to go back. Within 2 hours, this person was ready to go back where he was. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So like at this point, y'all, like I was so mad. Like I was so mad. Like I'm just like, and the reason why I'm gonna tell y'all why I didn't leave the first day that happened, I didn't leave the first day because I was tired. I had drove like 6 hours. I was so tired, but I was trying to give this man the benefit of the doubt. But anyways, y'all, moving on with that. So it was like when he said, oh, he's going back home, he got to go back home. It was like so many excuses why you got to go back home. That's your uncle's house. And he's letting you, oh, my uncle ain't there. And no, if I'm not there, my uncle, he's not going to let me use the car. And I'm like, okay, but I'm here. I came here to help you out. That's why I have a car. That's why, I came here to help you out. He's like, well, plans just change. Like everything he was saying just wasn't making sense. So I'm like, okay, let me get up and just take this man home because I'm about to go to sleep because I'm going to be out of here early in the morning. So anyways, y'all, so I'm getting ready to take this man home and I'm like, I'm never talking to this guy again. Like never. Like this is just, is messed up on my part and it's really messed up on his part. Because like I told y'all, we talked about this over and over again. And all he had to do is say, don't come see me right now. I would have accepted that better. But anyways, y'all. I takes him home. He don't want to give me the address, y'all. Okay, this place is like 28 minutes from where we were going. So I just had to just follow his, he put it in his phone. So I just had to follow the directions from from what he was telling me, what the GPS was saying. He just did not want to give me the address. So like even when we pulled up, the address was like his phone was turned down. So I couldn't hear the address. Like it was just odd. So I'm like, okay. So I finally get there and I'm like, so we on our way there and I guess I'm trying to cut into the other road or whatever. He's like, what are you doing? Then he started yelling at me and I'm like, oh my goodness, let me get this where he need to go. So anyways, I get him where he need to go and I drop him off and then, well, we hugged and everything and he got his little presents. I let him keep them actually, y'all. And his little presents, I just let him keep them. I was just ready to get this man away from me. So anyways, he hugs me and all that. And he was like, don't ever give up on me. I'm gonna be good. Don't like all that. Don't give. I didn't want to hear nothing from him. Nobody. I didn't want to hear nothing. And I was just like ready to go so bad, y'all. So I left and so anyways, so when I leave and I get on the highway, he's trying to call. I totally ignored it. I'm like, nigga, I know you just ain't calling me when you could have stayed with me. Because the next morning, I was like, okay, then me and him can get up. We can do a couple things and get a couple things done. And then I can leave, right? No, it's not what he wanted to do. So anyways, y'all, I guess I finally gets back to the hotel. I'm winding down. I didn't even respond back to him because at this point, I don't think it was, I don't think I was just tired, and I'm did not want to make no excuses for this man, nothing. Like, I'm just like irritated. So, anyways, y'all. So I decide next morning, I'm like, I'm gonna get up early and I'm out of here. Like, I'm not paying for another room. I'm just out of here. It's like, just it is what it is, and I'm not coming back down here. So y'all, um, I had got earlier that day. I had got some type of effect on my phone that it was going to be a storm, right? So y'all, I gets up and it's a daggone storm. I mean, a bad storm. I gets up early trying to like go eat breakfast in the hotel and then be on my way out because I want to get back home early. So be on my way out. It's a whole snowstorm outside. I mean, the roads is terrible. Like, everything is terrible. So, I had a car and I couldn't figure out, it was so much stuff I couldn't figure out on the daggone car. So I went out there and like, cleaned out the car and all that, you know, one of the hotel maintenance guys, I drove the car around the front, and one of the hotel maintenance guys, he helped me out or whatever, and he told me, he was like, why don't you just go get you some breakfast, and then therefore you have time for the car to warm up, defrost and all that. So he actually helped me with the car or whatever, clean the car off the rest of the way and all that. So anyways, I did that, y'all, and I sat there, and then one of the workers like, you shouldn't really go out in there. And I'm like, no, I'm gone. I got to go. I can't stay no one more night here. I need to get out of here. And so it wasn't supposed to hit where I was, but it still hit. So I had to, and y'all, I have never drove, I'm going to be honest with y'all, I have never drove on ice. Never. So anyways, I drove on ice, and yeah. Yeah. Thank God I got through that. What else? So y'all, make a long story short, I filled up my car. I got out, I filled up my car, and I left early. I drove as slow as I could, all of that. So anyways, I think like after an hour or so, y'all, I decided, after an hour or so, y'all, I was, the storm was like, I wasn't driving on ice. I wasn't driving on snow no more. I did for like an hour or so, and then it was over. And so I didn't see no snow. I didn't see no dust. I didn't see nothing no more after an hour or so. So I'm like, okay, this is perfect. So it wasn't no cars near me on the road, on the highway. It was just, I'm like, wow, thank God I made it. So I'm driving and whatever. This whole time, y'all, he ain't checking on me, nothing. So I'm like, okay, I think I get it. So I gets home at like 2. No, actually I got home earlier than that. I got home at like 12 or 1 or something like that. This man still ain't text and check on me. Nothing. I didn't get nothing, y'all. So I'm like, this was all jail talk. I've been stood up, you know what I'm saying? And then I get a text later. It wasn't like, hey, did you make it? It was just basically like, don't give up on us, all that type of stuff. And what I say to that is, if you're talking to somebody that's locked up, you never met, what I'm going to say is, go with your first instinct. Don't get wrapped up in the jail talk. Don't get wrapped up in none of that. And I'm going to tell y'all, to this day, this man is blocked. I don't have time for that. Like, it was so many excuses. Like, I can't, I'm sorry. I got drunk the first night. And it was just so many excuses, y'all. And I was there for that man through the end of it. And y'all, I'm telling you, just don't believe all that. Just don't believe all that. Let them show you action. And then you then you go from there. But don't talk about, oh, I'm gonna be with you, oh, I love you. None of that, because it's not true. It's not true. And if you ever need advice, comment down. Hit, I give you some advice, because I'm letting you know now. It's it's not what it's cracked up to be. So, and to me, it's nothing but jail talk. They talk and talk until they get out, and then just forget about you. So thank y'all for listening to my story. It is messed up, and I hope that it's more people out there going through it, females going through it. But I'm trying to tell you, it's not the way to go. Talking to somebody in jail and all that, and they feeding you a fairy tale story. It's not how it is. And me and him were just friends, and yeah, you can't get wrapped up in that. Well, thank y'all for listening to my story. Please like, comment, and subscribe, please. And y'all have a good day.